Hi, what's up everyone? Welcome to this video. Today we are adding and subtracting integers. So what are integers? Integers are negative and positive whole numbers. So fractions and decimals are not included in these numbers. We are only dealing with the whole numbers. Then what are whole numbers? These are natural numbers including a zero. But then, what are natural numbers? These are counting numbers, the numbers we've been using since the beginning of time. We count with these numbers from 1 to 2, 3, 4 going on. Take note that 0 is not included in these numbers. So today we will learn how to add two positive numbers together. Add a negative number to a positive number. Add a positive number to a negative number. Add two negative numbers. Subtract two positive numbers. Subtract a positive number from a negative number. Subtract a negative number from a positive number. And subtract two negative numbers. So now let's look at our first example. We are adding two positive numbers together. Positive 3 plus positive 4. Now, as a rule, if you have two consecutive operations, like in this case, we've got two positive signs that follow each other, we will choose only one positive sign. If we could rewrite our first example, it would be positive 3 plus 4, or simply 3 plus 4. We know how to add those two numbers. It simply gives us a 7. Now let's move on to our second example. We are adding a negative number to a positive number. Now, as a second rule, if you've got two different signs following each other, like in this case, we've got a positive and a negative, we will choose a negative sign over the positive sign. So if we could rewrite our second example, it would be a positive 38 minus a 5, which is the same as saying a 38 minus 5, which gives us a 33. Now, let's check our third example. We are adding a positive number to a negative number. So, negative 6 plus positive 12. So, here we have, again, two consecutive positive operations. We are going to simply choose one positive sign. So if we could rewrite our third example, it would be negative 6 plus 12. Now, here's another rule. If you have two signs that do not follow each other, like the previous examples that we had, so these are signs that have a number in between them. Like in this case, we've got a negative 6 and a positive 12. So here is the rule. When the signs are different, like in this case, it's a negative 6 plus a 12. If the signs are different, you subtract the numbers, but retain or put back the sign of a bigger number. So this will be 12 minus a 6, which gives us a 6. And in this case, our answer, the 6, will be positive because the sign of a bigger number 12 is positive. Now, let's check our fourth example. We are adding two negative numbers together. It's a negative 10 plus a negative 7. Here we go again. We've got two different operations or two different signs that follow each other. So we will choose a negative sign over a positive sign. If we could rewrite our fourth example, it will give us a negative 10 minus 7, which is the same as having a negative 10 without the brackets. Now here's another rule. If you have two signs that have a number in between them, but this time around the signs are the same, like in our case now we've got two negative signs, a negative 10 and a negative 7. The rule says that you can simply add the two numbers together, but retain or put back the sign of those two numbers. In this case, both our numbers are negative, so our answer will be a negative 17. Now let's look at our fifth example. We have two positive numbers that are being subtracted from each other. And if you could look, now we have again two consecutive different signs. We have a negative and a positive. So as we've been doing before, we are going to choose a negative sign over a positive sign. So if we could rewrite our fifth example, it will be a positive 8 minus 7. And a positive 8, we can simply write it as an 8 without the positive sign, and it will still be the same. It's 8 minus 7. And we all know what is 8. Subtract 7, it will give you a 1. So our answer is a positive 1. Now let's look at our sixth example. We have a negative 1 minus a positive 10. So now we've got again two consecutive signs. Like we've been doing, we are going to choose a negative sign over a positive sign. So if we could rewrite our sixth example, we will have negative 1 minus 10. So now we have two negative signs that are being separated by a number. So we are going to use the rule that we used previously. We are going, because the signs are the same, so we are going to add our two numbers, 1 and 10. So if you say 1 plus 10, you get an 11. But because the signs of both our numbers are negative, we are going to put back the negative sign to our answer. So our answer is a negative 11. Now let's look at our seventh example. We've got a 2 minus negative 2. Now as you can see, we have two consecutive negative signs. Now here's another rule. If two negative signs follow each other, we change them to a positive sign. So in this case, if we could rewrite our seventh example, we will have a 2 plus 2. And we all know how to add a 2 to a 2. This gives us a 4. Now let's look at our last example. We've got a negative 8 minus a negative 6. And now we know that if we have two consecutive negative signs, we change them into a positive sign. So if we could rewrite our last example, we will have a negative 8 plus 6. Now we've got two signs with a number in between them. So remember with our previous example, as we said, if we've got two different signs, you subtract the numbers, but put back the sign of a bigger number. So in this case, we will say 8 minus 6, which will give us a 2, but take the sign of an 8, which is a negative. So our final answer is a negative 2. Thanks for watching. See you on our next video on multiplying and dividing integers. Bye-bye.